Voila.
Hello, Adam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Andrew. How are you? Nice to see you guys.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, good evening.
How are you feeling? Let's see, is Arabella here? Not yet.
Had some connection.
There she is. Hi, Arabella.
Hey,
You are chairing this evening, correct?
that's right. And it's like 7 o'clock and it appears there's a quorum. So I will call the meeting to order.
All right, give me a second just to record the
Oh.
quorum, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Please, let's see.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Who sent us the package this month?
Andrew sent you the package this month.
Andrew, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Middlebury, Hugh, Ross. That's everybody in the room. Deborah.
You don't have a name?
Oh, well, I didn't look through every letter, but it wasn't where it's supposed to be. I'll check all of the envelopes since I'm there.
Here.
Be in there somewhere.
Diane is here.
Yeah, we can
Mr.
put it right in the middle, huh?
Okay. Cheryl. Hi, Shannon, Ron, Stan. I think I have everybody, Arabella. Thank you.
Arabella floating in
All
the
right
dark.
then. This meeting of the Addison County Regional Planning Commission on the 12th of March, unbelievable, is called to order, and we will start with discussion of the approval of the minutes from February 12th. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve as presented.
Second,
Shannon, thank you, Steve. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Or any opposed? Or abstentions?
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't here.
Okay.
Hold, keep your hands up for just a second so I can record it. Okay, Ron, Jeremy, Ross, Deborah. S A J Ross. Okay, thank you.
All right, the executive board minutes from February 26th are in your packet. Any questions or comments can be directed to one of the board members unless there's something really pressing. I don't know. If not, then we will go to the treasurer's report, which I will turn over for Adam.
Okay, great. Here's where I get nervous. The host hasn't allowed multiple presenters to share the screen, and I'm not the host.
Well,
Okay, well, in your package are the financial reports. I will hit the highlights of them. And I'm happy to take any questions. So I'm going to start with the statement of financial activities. That is basically, well, it's activities. It's like our P&L. I will tell you, we have a total income of a little bit over $1 million, $1,015,000 for basically gross revenue for the first 7 months of this year. Excuse me, total expenses of $881, leaving net ordinary income of close to $135,000. However, at the very bottom of the sheet, there is a footnote. Under revenue, subcontractor income is $415,000. Under expenses, subcontractor expenses are $354,000. So we got an invoice from basically some contractors. We billed the state. We had not paid the contractor at the time of this particular, so as of January 31st. So we shouldn't bill, but we should not have more money in revenue under subcontractor income than we have in expenses. It's a timing issue. It will catch up. But we should adjust that number down by $61,000 to get to about $73,000, $74,000 of income. And the footnote explains the rest of it. It's just the variance and the timing with the contractor. When you see it next month, basically those numbers will equal one another. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay.
Could you list the types of subcontractors there are?
Sure.
Types, you don't have to say every.
So we have subcontractors under the Clean Water Service Provider program. So that could be people working on water quality projects. We have subcontractors under the TPI transportation grant program. So when we do town grants or work for towns, basically the contractor will bill us and then and we'll pay them. So we have brownfield contractors, and this may be a brownfields contract, is my impression given the number. And I think that's what April had told me, but largely engineering firms or planning subcontractors.
Thank you.
Don't we have somebody for housing also that's a subcontractor, or is he an employee?
No, he's a subcontractor. So we have Chris Stackhouse
Yes.
is our subcontractor for basically ADU design. Ross?
I'm just wondering, given the current net income, do you anticipate the possibility of being able to offer mini grants to our towns?
How about
in this year?
how about if I put that on the e-board agenda for next month and we get back to you? It's a possibility. There's enough money there that it's a possibility.
Mhm.
Yes.
Cool.
So Ross is asking about, we did town mini grants, last year.
Yep.
Where we basically gave grants of up to $10,000 to the first 7, I think, municipalities that applied. We ended up doing things like survey work. So we did some in Moncton, we did some survey work in Panton and in Virgins. We did we did some engineering work or pre-engineering work in Ferrisburg on their water systems.
Survey in Cornwall.
Survey in Cornwall. Thank you, Stan. So, some I guess I'd say some useful work that enabled our towns in Cornwall. It was for their town recreation center, and Ferrisburg, it was for their water system. Virgins Panton dealt with basically the municipal boundary. So just some good planning work that isn't necessarily funded for our towns. We may be able to do that again, given the net ordinary income that we have. And in response to Ross, I suggested we'll take it to the e-board next month and get back to you next month as well. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move on from the statement of financial activities to the statement of financial position. That's more like a balance sheet, showing total assets of $1.2 million roughly, total liabilities of 664,000, and total equity of 565,000. Again, that's without the adjustment for the engineering that I talked about in the statement of financial activities. So expenses should be about $63,000 higher, but still a pretty strong balance sheet for us. We have plenty of cash moving forward. Happy to take any questions on the statement of financial position or balance sheet.
Can you just tell us again what that unrestricted fund balance means? It's right down on the bottom there, 424,930.
Sure, that's largely cash
That's cash that's sitting there for various, like
in
clean
the bank
water.
accounts. Well, so there's some cash up above under unearned revenue, and that's where the clean water money is, for example, that we haven't spent yet.
Like the
So they've
366 up there, that's
Yep.
clean water.
So where they've prepaid us,
Yeah.
It's unearned revenue, so we're counting it as a liability.
Okay, so
And
that
that's what
424 is taking into account a bunch of that unearned revenue up in there.
No, it's not. No, that's equity.
That's why I was having trouble understanding.
Line 25,050 is unearned revenue, I think that has the clean water stuff.
Yeah, I see the clean water in there. I just didn't really understand what unrestricted fund balance.
It's largely cash. It's a fund balance that we have that doesn't have restrictions on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be dense. I just saw that and I was like, I was trying to add up and see if that, if that was part of some of the other stuff.
I have another question.
Go ahead,
What is
Anna.
ACCS dwelling units?
Accessory dwelling units. So St. Stephen's Church gave us a grant of $30,000 a couple of years ago to basically fund people that were willing to build accessory dwelling units and then rent them for the HUD fair market rate in Addison County. We doled them out in $5,000 grants. Basically, we've doled out 2. We have 4 left. Any other questions regarding the financials?
Thank you.
Great.
Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Second,
Who moved? Arabella, I didn't hear. I got a second from Tim.
I saw Nick.
I think
We'll call it Nick.
any further discussion? All in favor, aye or thumbs up, or
Uh,
those opposed? Any abstaining? All right, passes unanimously. Next on the agenda are committee reports. I know Natural Resources has met. Are there others that have met?
The fact did, we had, presentation on a rail plan. And that was the primary one. I can pull up more if you want more detail, but the better strategy is if you need more detail, talk to Mike. Sorry.
The minutes are on the website, but you're right. That was your primary activity, was the V-Trans presented the Vermont Rail Plan.
Yeah.
So going in order, I'll just Act 250,
Did not meet.
Energy,
I don't think we met since our last meeting. We're going to be meeting early next week.
Local Government,
Did not meet.
Natural Resources, we met recently, I can't remember, Monday night, I think, and are getting back in the groove of updating the natural resources section of the regional plan. TAC, we've heard about housing
we did not meet.
and economic development.
Did not meet.
All right, joint partners report, delegate or staff recognition.
So we have both Fred and Alex joining us tonight. I don't know if they want to give a report from economic development.
Sure, I'll mention a couple of things. It's Fred Kenny, Executive Director of the Addison County Economic Development Corporation. I think we introduced Alex last meeting, so I'm retiring and Alex is taking my place. First, we filed our application with USDA Rural Development for a project with the town of Addison to look at their a study to look at their municipal buildings. That was just filed and it's been accepted, but we won't hear for a little while whether it was going to be funded or not. We're also filing an application this month with USDA Rural Development to recapitalize our revolving loan fund. So that's another application with USDA Rural Development. We're continuing work in Middlebury on the thermal energy networks. And I'll give an early plug right now for the regional priority project list that we work on with your organization. Just a heads up to all municipalities and nonprofits, if you have projects that are going to be seeking state or federal funds and your project has a gap, you'll want to apply to get that project on the regional priority project list, because that list is used by state and federal funders to understand what the priorities are for the region. So there's on our website, and I think on your website as well, there's a form you can fill out to tell us about your project, and we put all those projects together at the end of the year and then prioritize them using a scoring system, and we submit the top 10 projects to the Agency of Commerce, who then shares that list with federal and state funders. It's especially important if you're seeking NBRC, Northern Borders Regional Commission funding, because they actually use the scoring or the ranking in their scoring system, but other agencies use it as well. So you've got the whole year to submit your project. We do an update to the list in May if we have to, but really we put the list together every October and submit it in November. So if you have a big project right now, or you come up with one during the year, make sure you send us your priority project form for your project. Thanks.
Thank you. On to old business, right? Maple
Yes.
broadband update.
Sure, I'll give that. Steve's not able to be here this evening. The governing board met last evening. Talked real briefly about broadband equity, access, and deployment, also known as BEAD. Because of uncertainty in federal financing, Maple Broadband is considering all kinds of alternatives to further our goal of universal broadband access in our territory. We'll wait and see what happens. The other two bigger things that happened were more procedural for us. We are setting forth a subcommittee, a finance committee, which will be looking at a lot of those alternatives. And then the other thing is we've elected a nominating committee, which will appoint or reappoint members of the executive committee at our May annual meeting. That's it in a nutshell. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thanks.
Okay. Act 181 outreach plan update.
So in your newsletter this week, there was basically a letter or a summary letter from me regarding Act 181. And again, I have trouble with all the different act numbers. So this is the Act 250 reform that basically passed last year. And what it does is it reforms Act 250 jurisdictional thresholds. Its intent was to basically loosen Act 250 jurisdiction within villages and expand basically your villages a bit, and then to tighten Act 250 jurisdiction in more let's see, forest blocks, wildlife habitat areas. Those are yet to be defined. So your village areas are considered tier 3. It broke the state into 3 different tiers. Tier 1, which includes tier 1A and tier 1B, just to be difficult. But that largely encompasses what you think of as your towns and your villages. And their Act 250 jurisdiction will be loosened to encourage housing development. Tier 2 is most of Addison County. It's most of the rest of the county. It really remains the same. It still is subject to Act 250 jurisdiction. But what we did do is come up with a uniform naming criteria. So if I looked at the Addison County future land use planning map and the Two Rivers Ottaquechee Regional Planning Commission future land use map, we'd say the same things, but we might not use exactly the same terminology. So one of the things that this law did is basically make us come up with uniform terminology throughout the state, so that a village is a village is a village, no matter where you are. A rural area is a rural area wherever you are. A conservation is a conservation area wherever you are. So really doesn't change the underlying uses, but tries to encompass all of them with uniform names. As part of that, or as part of the tier 1 development, the regional plans, we need to change our future land use maps for the new terminology that I expected, and to look at your villages not under what I'll call the kind of compacted state designation areas that we had previously, but what I hope would be, as people think of your village, so if I think of the village of Shoreham, it includes, what's now their village center under state designation or their commercial buildings, but then it includes the housing around it, and probably a little beyond that for some new housing. And that's where we're trying to get to. We will be going out to each of your municipalities over the next 3 months and basically explaining this to each of your planning commissions. So we'll go to your public planning commission meetings. You all are welcome to invite and encouraged to invite everyone you can while we talk about this with you. We will bring you a draft of what we think we would like the future land use map to look like for your town. So the regional portion of the future land use that's your town. And then we'll ask you for comments. We'll ask you for questions. Well, why did you do that like this? Should that be a conservation area? Should the village be expanded to include a different housing or a different parcel that we would like to include for housing? How are you treating our lakeshore area on Lake Champlain? So we'll come to you with a draft. It will be based largely on our current future land use plan and on your current municipal plans and municipal zoning. So our hope is that it won't be too shocking to you, and that at least in the village area, it will actually expand opportunities for housing within your village area. It will be just a draft, and we're bringing out a draft for you all to comment on and edit. We're hoping to get out to every town by the end of June for at least one meeting. So myself and Katie and Rebecca and Danelle will be working on this project. And Hannah will be working on this project, largely doing the maps, and she'll be doing the maps according to basically the methodology that VAPTA, the Vermont Association of Planning and Development Agencies, which is the regional planning commissions, developed as part of this law. So that's how we're creating the draft. Honestly, Hannah's time is kind of our bottleneck. There are 21 towns. There's one of her creating maps. So that's why we're giving ourselves a little time to get out to every town. We're gonna be rolling it out. If your planning commission is currently working on your town or region town plan, city plan, we want to talk to you early because we want to get into your planning process as best we can and align as best we can with what you're doing now. If you've just adopted your town plan, you may move a little further down the list because you've got some time to do it, but we will get to you before June. So we've broken towns up into kind of 4 tiers, I believe. Katie's already been out and visited Addison and I believe Shoreham and I believe maybe New Haven. So we're starting. I'll be in Moncton next week. And we have developed kind of a 1-page summary that's similar to my introduction in the newsletter. And we'll be bringing that out with us. We'll be bringing out the maps with us and looking for your participation. We, the Regional Planning Commission, need to basically create a future land use map for the regional plan. You, the towns, we want your cooperation. We want to make sure what we do reflects what you're doing and what you think. We want to work with you. You do not have to revise your town plan on the same time frame as we do. You still have the full 8 years to revise your plan. You can do it sooner if you would like to, but you don't have to. Even if you don't do it, you can opt in to the enlarged tier 1B village area by basically after we get the regional plan approved, opting in, writing a letter to the land use board and saying, we want to opt into the Tier 1B area as defined in the regional plan. You can also apply for a Tier 1A area. Tier 1A grants more exemptions from Act 250. So you can develop over 50 units. Tier 1B, you can develop up to 50 units of housing. Tier 1A really applies to our larger municipalities, those with water, sewer, sidewalks. It has a number of more restrictions. It's a little harder to get. It grants a little bit more exemptions. We think just about every town in Addison County can get a Tier 1B exemption. Like I say, I think 1A will be only our larger municipalities will probably try to go through that application process, would be my guess right now. I think that's where I'll stop right now for my summary on 181, but I'm happy to take any of your questions.
Adam, what is the relationship between the present village center designation and this new designation?
Great question. So your current village center designation with basically the Agency of Commerce and Community Development was designed largely for tax credits for commercial buildings. And therefore, when they set up the application criteria for that, they limited it to either municipal buildings, institutional buildings like post offices or churches, and commercial buildings. And really, it was a program designed to get commercial tax credits to those commercial buildings for them to make improvements. So they really made that program, and a lot of your village centers, if you think of them, if you're familiar with what it looks like, it doesn't reflect your whole village. It reflects just the very center of your village, kind of the commercial institutional properties. This new designation, Tier 1B, is designed to capture basically the village center designation from the Agency of Commerce, but also the housing around it, and even beyond that, some places where there are potential for additional housing around it. So it expands the village area. I like to hope that it'll expand the village area to what you think of as your village area, all of you. So, you know, that may differ on the edges, but when I think of Shoreham, when I think of Orwell, when I think of Bridport, when I think of, you know, even Moncton up on the ridge, those are the areas I think of as the villages, and those are the areas that I expect we'll capture those with the housing around it, as opposed to just the commercial areas. Did that make sense, Stan?
It does. I know that we're required to reapply or restate village center designation every 5 years. Do you still have to do that?
Nope, that will go away.
Thank you.
You will be required to opt in to Tier 1B if you choose to, but you'll only have to do it once.
Thanks.
And the Tier 1B will encompass your current village center designation benefits. Does anybody else have any other questions about the program itself, or how we plan to roll it out, or anything else? Okay, Arabella, I think we're good.
All right.
So
Next,
actually, let me just say one more thing. Within the next, like I said, probably within the next month or so, either myself or Katie or Rebecca or Danelle will be contacting your planning commission and asking to get on their agenda to discuss basically what the future land use map should look like within your community. So we're looking forward to getting out and seeing all of you. Thank you, Arabella.
Thank you, Adam. It's awesome.
Next on the agenda is a vote to amend the bylaws of the Addison County Regional Planning Commission. Adam, would you like to?
Yep.
take us through that?
So in your package, basically there's a complete copy of the bylaws. We went over a number of changes at our meeting last month. I incorporated those into the bylaws. There were a couple of places where you all, at that meeting, you all made suggestions. And I went back and wordsmithed a little bit. So the first one, and this is one that Nick made, I forgot to do it, was let's see, membership assessments shall be due and payable on or before July 31st. 31 days after the beginning of the new year, not just 30. So I forgot to put that in, but I got a reminder. So that's one of the new changes proposed for tonight.
Thank you, Adam.
You bet, Nick. On page 12, the next one is really just a little bit of wordsmithing. We referred to specifically to Vermont open meeting law and gave a statutory site. All our meetings need to follow Vermont open meeting law, and basically that section just says that as plainly, I hope, as I just did. The other slight change that we made last meeting is on page 13, and it deals with the treasurer. And we had some language in there about the treasurer's duties and insurance. We simplified it pretty dramatically, and also I would say made it reflect what the treasurer actually does. So we changed it to: the treasurer shall oversee the finances of the commission by ensuring staff carries out the directives of the commission, ensuring staff promptly deposits funds in such depositories designated, and et cetera, et cetera. And then working with staff to ensure that the commission carries insurances as necessary to protect itself, its board members, and its staff from reasonably anticipated hazards or risks. So rather than naming specific insurances, we just said we need to get insurances that are appropriate to the commission. Those were the only changes from last month. I'm happy to take any questions or suggestions on the bylaws. Ross.
Make a motion to approve the bylaw as amended.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Any further discussion first? All in favor signify by saying aye or thumbs up or other appropriate gesture. Any opposed? Or abstentions? Carries unanimously. Do we have any other old business before we go on to new business?
I had a question. This is Ross. Adam, I was wondering if it'd be possible for you to update us on the status of the Vermont Gas Certificate of Public Good application.
Sure. So let's see. I'll give you a little bit of context so everybody's on the same page, and then and it'll be short. So the existing Vermont gas line that comes down into Middlebury and Virgins needs to apply for another certificate of public good. They have put in their application for a certificate of public good. You all this fall told me, so the Energy Committee and the Act 250 Committee met jointly, recommended that we basically monitor the proceeding and put in a notice of appearance and intervene in the proceeding to monitor it. The full commission approved their recommendation. There was a there was a status conference at the beginning of this month. Basically, to start the proceeding. When are things going to go? There will be a public meeting coming up. I have not seen an announcement of it. Entries of appearance are due about a week after that public meeting, and it should be broadly announced. And I actually had thought it was going to be sometime relatively soon in March, but I have not seen any announcements yet, so I'm not sure what the holdup is. But I will make sure I put in a notice of appearance and a motion to intervene within that timeline.
Adam, I think
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stan.
Oh, Adam, does Vermont Gas have to rectify its construction malfeasance from a few years ago?
that's basically what the new proceeding is about. Yes. There were, for everybody else, there were some portions of the line, so it's a 41-mile line. There were some thousands of feet mostly in New Haven, just south of the Moncton line in that area where Vermont Gas did not bury the line deep enough, or the lines heaved with frost up closer to the surface. Probably the biggest issue is for this certificate of public good is that good enough, or does Vermont Gas need to go back and do something? There are some other issues around engineering certificates and other construction techniques. So I would tell you that's what this certificate of public good will be about. And I actually expect what's holding up things right now is the Vermont Gas and some of the interveners are fighting over how big of a process will this certificate of public good be? Will it be a redo of the entire thing, or will it really just focus on the issues that Stan just mentioned? Steve, did you have something? Do you know something I don't?
Adam, I do know that it was announced that at the select board meeting last night that there's as I understand it, a public meeting to be held at the Virgins Opera House later this month with the PUC and Vermont Gas being present. Off the top of my head, I don't have the exact dates, but later in March, so it's coming.
Okay, thank you. I'll look it up. I hadn't heard that yet.
Any other old business? Moving on to new business. First on the agenda is announcement of the slate of the nominating committee. Shannon, who gets to announce the slate of the nominating committee?
I do not know. I know two of them. I don't know if we have a third.
Okay.
I don't believe we do, Shannon. I believe that's our business before the commission, or part of we decided that we would ask again for a third member of the nominating committee tonight. So let's see, the nominating committee, it's a very short time committee. It meets for about a month. Its duty is to elect the slate of officers to be nominated for the executive board for the next year. It's made up of 3 members of the commission, so relatively short, relatively easy duty. And if you're on it, chances are, if you don't want to be on the executive board, you can make sure that happens. We do have 2 members of the executive board that are leaving. So Jeremy Grip and Jamie Dayton are basically leaving the executive board. They have agreed to be on the nominating committee, basically to nominate the new slate. We are missing 1 member, so I think our business tonight for the nominating committee is to see if we can get one of you to work with Jamie and Jeremy to make sure we get a good executive board next year. So we're looking for one volunteer.
I can't volunteer. You're on the, well, if you're on the
You're-
executive board.
We'll get somebody else.
I'll volunteer. Jen Irwin.
And thank you very much.
Yep, I'll give it a go.
Okay. So with Jen stepping forward, thank you. We would have a slate for the nominating committee of Jeremy Grip, Jamie Dayton, and Jennifer Irwin.
All in
And
favor?
I'd be looking for a motion to create the nominating committee. And I'm sorry, Arabella.
So moved.
I was enchanted by a cat. So Shannon, did you move to?
Yes,
okay.
please.
We have a second?
Sure.
There's Goya first.
Try it. Okay.
All in favor? Aye, or thumbs up, or
Aye.
any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we have a nominating committee. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. The next is our annual meeting and the Bertha Hansen Award nominee.
So
Back to
this
Adam.
is a reminder to all of you. Let's see, our annual meeting is the second Wednesday in May. I believe that's May 14th this year. We've talked with the Town Hall Theater about doing it in their new space. So it's a nice, really handsome new space. Looks right down on the river and down on the rest of Middlebury. So we're working on that as a space. We will get a caterer. Still working on that. Your e-board has given me some good ideas for speakers. I'm happy to take any other ideas for speakers that you would like to hear. I would request that we not talk about President Donald Trump as a speaker or get involved in that at all. But I like to keep the annual meeting a little light and interesting and planning focused. So if you have someone that's a good idea that we could work with there, I'm happy to hear it. And then I'd like you all to think about the Bertha Hansen Award. The Bertha Hansen Award is the award that you all give to one of your peers each year. Bertha Hansen was a longtime member of the Addison County Regional Planning Commission from Starksboro. We named the plaque in her honor. And basically want to honor largely the same. It's one of your peers that's done good work for a long time and maybe outstanding work within the last couple of years that you all want to recognize. So think about that. If you have recommendations, I'd ask that you make those to either to me or any other member of the executive board, and the executive board will choose from your nominees and basically make that award at the annual meeting. Anna, you had a question.
Not a question. I had a proposal for a speaker.
Okay.
Kevin Chu from the Vermont Futures Project.
Okay, great.
I know that the Crooked Ladle does some pretty good catering if you're looking for a caterer.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll write down that as well, Joya.
I was just reading something about him, I think, recently.
Okay.
Yeah,
Two good suggestions. Oh, one thing for Bertha Hansen, would you maybe send an email or something out with a few people that have recent?
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we remember.
Yep.
Steve was in there. I think.
So there's a plaque in the room here,
Over there.
basically, that
Yeah.
describes the Bertha Hansen Award and has all the past awardees. So maybe what I'll do is take a picture of it
Perfect.
and send it out.
Perfect. Just so we have
And that way you'll know what we're doing and you'll know who's been nominated before. We have had 1 2-time nomination. I think that was Thea, and I think she's our only one, Thea Gaudet. But you know, it's a nice award that, like I say, you all give to your peers. So think about it carefully and make a good choice.
I have one comment, question
Go
that
ahead.
I'm bringing to the commission because it came up at our listers meeting and the listers were not equipped. And so I'm bringing this to the board as a delegate from Ferrisburg, not as a lister. But this comes from the drafting process of the Ferrisburg Town Plan. And basically what they're trying to do is define farmland. And that was so two elements to this. One was a definition for the town plan, so we can delineate what is and what isn't, quote, farmland. You know, initially our knee-jerk reaction was current use being a trigger, but there's certainly farmland that's being used as farmland that is not in current use.
I would tell you most people refer to ag soils, so the type of soil based, but we can talk about that.
Okay, and the other one, which is I think a little bit more pertinent or directly pertinent, is we don't have a way of tracking accessory dwelling units. So she's asking, what are the total number of dwelling units in the town? And the listers all looked at each other and went, well, unless we kind of count kitchens, it's about what we have. So as the region, I said, I think this is something I should bring to regional planning because we are helping people to develop these units and the towns. So, and what we are hoping to do is we have a reappraisal coming up here shortly. And we thought this would be an excellent opportunity to evaluate that. And we're not even really able to sort of count like a unit. If you have an apartment building with 6 apartments in it, it's not really being accounted for in either the town plan or when we're coming through reappraisal. It's really not, there's no good methodology for us to be able to account for that. And so because all the other towns are, I think, are going to be facing the same thing.
I would tell you they are statewide. So that is a statewide issue.
Okay.
You know, the buildings show up as a point on 911.
Yeah.
Right. It's not each individual unit. You can do some of it sometimes with meters. Electric meters is one place where you can get some of that data and break it out, but not necessarily for an ADU. The best way to do it is to go to the local zoning administrator. And
she was with us tonight.
Yeah.
We were working with the zoning administrator today, and this kind of, both of these issues came up.
Yeah, I mean, each ADU should have a permit and for the ADU itself. Right?
Right. Yeah,
and towns should have if someone's creating a multifamily unit, they should basically tell how many tell the zoning administrator how many multifamily units they're creating. And that's, but I know that data is not always
we
in
were
great
looking
shape.
at houses that we know have, 4 people or 4 apartments broken out of a house, essentially. And how do you, I don't know, but this was definitely, it was a stumbling block.
So the other way to do it is with the Vermont Department of Taxes. And actually there have been people talking with Vermont Department of Taxes on a statewide basis, because like I say, right now it's not easy to do, and it's something that people would like to know where, where there are multifamily units. So your emergency managers want to know whether they're going to a single building or a multifamily building. There's a lot of good reasons to have the data. We don't have a complete or great data set right now.
So regional planning, and as I just told the other folks in the meeting that, look, this is sort of what we work on at regional planning, where the regional plan is sort of a blueprint for the rest of the towns individual town plans.
Mhm.
And I'm sure if Ferrisburg is wrestling with these two definitions or means of tracking or whatever, everybody else has got to be looking at it too.
Certainly, like I said, I don't think there's any. Some towns may have better data on multifamily units than other towns do, but the best available data is at the town level at the zoning administrator, and usually that's a paper file still.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
So we'll
not,
spin it back around either right back to the granular level or go to the Department of Taxes. And
yes,
okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's all.
Ross.
Yeah, I had a thought about a potential presenter for the annual meeting.
Okay.
That I'd throw out, the Climate Action Economy Center of Edison County. Maybe have
Okay.
them do a talk on the greenhouse gas inventory. Not perhaps the lightest topic, but certainly important and timely, and affects us all.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's nice to have good choices.
Any other new business? On to members' concerns and information. This vernal equinox is coming up. That's important.
Thank you, Arabella.
And tomorrow
It's a-
night, there's a
it's a
lunar
blood-
eclipse.
Yeah, blood moon eclipse tomorrow night.
Yep, full
Really?
lunar eclipse.
Really?
Starts around midnight, peaks around 2.
If you're up.
May set my alarm.
All right, is that enough information for us all?
Adam, or Arabella, this is Joy. Sorry, I
All right,
can't do my video and my audio at the same time. I just wanted to mention to Adam that, you know, in deference to the fact that you're thinking of doing a town hall theater, maybe who is the executive director now of Vermont Arts Commission, the Vermont Council on the Arts, and because the arts, and this is an example of being a very good economic driver in the town, and I just thought that was just another aspect and making deference to town hall theater. I was mulling that over. So idea.
It's a nice thought. Thank you.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah, I move to adjourn.
All right,
Yeah.
then make it so. Thank you all for coming.
Little misty eyes.
Great.
Take
Thank
care.
you all. Have a nice evening.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
Wow.
Thanks.
Night,
When you notice it, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.